Hey guys, welcome back. So in this lecture, let's talk about inheritance. Okay, so I'm going to talk about something called as inheritance, which is essential concept when you talk about OOP. Okay, again, this is a very interesting and important concept in Python. Okay, when you talk about objects in Python, inheritance will do anything for you, right? So inheritance is something needed, and you know to make it more interesting, to make it more engaging, I'm gonna you take my favorite movie and analyze it using inheritance. Okay, so my favorite movie, you would have guessed, that is guess that movie. Actually, that's a science fiction movie released in 2014. I hope many of you have watched it. Okay, it is a famous movie, a Hollywood movie, science fiction, and it's directed by Christopher Nolan, and it's one of my favorite directors. And he directed a movie called as Interstellar, and that's my favorite movie. I've seen it more than 10 times. Okay, so I'm gonna explain inheritance through Interstellar. So let's think you are in the world of Interstellar, and if you have didn't watch the movie, if you didn't watch the movie, no problem. Okay, you'll be understanding. And because we are not going to touch the plot, we are not going to reveal any plot. Just use this idea to study inheritance. Okay, so stick with inheritance, not Interstellar. Okay, fine. So Suba. So yeah, Interstellar. Just think about those characters and their attributes and methods. That's it. Fine. So I'll say def. Fine. I'll say class Interstellar. Okay. So class Interstellar. That's so you can not def, right? Uh, so I'll say class Interstellar. That's how you can define a class, right? So class Interstellar. So inside this class, I'm going to have some attributes and methods. So first of all, let us write the attributes. So you know my objects would be the characters in Interstellar, like Cooper. That's the protagonist of this movie. Cooper, protagonist character of this movie. He is something I love a lot. So he's someone I love a lot. Okay, so Cooper, and after that, Brand. I took the Doctor Brand, and another favorite character is Murph character. That will include that also. So those are my objects. Okay, I can create objects of the class. Say for if I say class Interstellar, that actually refers to movie. Okay, the movie. Okay, that refers. Understand like that. It refers to movie, not the actual word Interstellar in physics meaning. It actually refers to the movie. That's it, Interstellar. So I have attributes there, and I'll say IQ level. When I take Interstellar, everyone will have a good IQ level. The characters which are from Christopher Nolan's movie, Mr. Christopher Nolan's movie, will have a very good IQ level. They will be thinking in a different manner. All the characters, almost all the characters, right? So let us set the IQ level to 90%. Fine. I don't know the exact count, so 90%. Assume that 90%. So IQ level is your attribute now. So this is something new for us. We have not defined any attributes in our previous lecture. So this is an attribute. Fine. So if you create any objects of Interstellar, if you create any object of the class Interstellar, that object will definitely have the IQ level 90. Fine. That's why we are taking IQ 90. Right. After that, we'll you know. Let's assume that all the objects will be versatile. I mean, all the characters will be versatile. So let's say type versatile. Fine, versatile. Super. After that, we have two attributes. I think type versatile. If I say that's a string, okay. So the character type will be versatile. Okay, so every character will be versatile. I mean by that cat type. I'll say cat type that is versatile means every character is versatile. Fine. So after that, I'll define a method. Say define. Say init. Okay, I'll modify the constructor for us. I'll say self, and I'll get the name of the character. Name of the character name is same as the object name. No worries. I'll get it as small name, and I think name would be enough. That's it. So I'll declare one. I'll just put a colon here and say self dot name equals to name. Okay, name equals to name, and what do the characters do in that movie? Fine. So I'll say def introduce. Okay, def introduce, and if I use this method, the character, the object should introduce himself or herself. Okay, so it's a self. Okay, I'll say print, just print that. I'll say I am, hey, hey, I'm Cooper, I'm Bran, I'm Murph, right? Those are the characters available. If you didn't watch Interstellar, I'll just say those are the characters. Okay, Cooper, Brand, and Murph. I have to print I'm Cooper here. I don't want to be specific. I just put a placeholder here, and I'll say dot format, and I'll put self dot name here. That's it, right? Self dot name. That's it, right? Because this will now get the name. So in the first line itself, it will get the name, right? So if I call the interstellar class, if I call this init with a Cooper name, say Cooper, that will be stored in self.name. Self.name will have Cooper, so it will, if you use that object to introduce Cooper, and now it will print hey, I am Cooper. That's it. Introduce yourself. Fine. So what else the characters can do? I think the characters can survive. Most of the characters will survive in Interstellar. The main characters I'm talking about, like Murph, Cooper, and mm, Brand. Okay, most of the characters will survive, I hope. So Rome also. So I'll pass self here. Also I'm going to print hey, I'm survived. Fine, and this is going to be common for everyone, so I'll say hey, I'm survived. That's it. So I can have a lot of methods like this. You can define a lot of methods like this. Fine, this is possible. After that, I'm gonna update the IQ level for someone, right? So see, normally in movies the protagonist will have some strength more than others, right? So okay, let me declare the strength also. Fine, the strength of all the let me set the base value, that is actually 75. That's the base value for strength, and each object will have the minimum strength of 79 and a minimum IQ of 90, and they are all versatile. And if you want to update here, you can update here, right? So I'll say update strength. That's the good method name you have to use, like that, update strength. So that will update the strength. For that, let me pass self. That's it. And update strength means self dot strength, right? It is self dot strength equals to self dot strength uh, plus value. I'll get the value. Okay, I'll just get the value here. What value it should give, it should be updated. Fine, let me say if I pass, increment the value by 10. By default every object will have 75, because it's a variables declared in it's a variable declared under interstellar class. Every object will have 75 strength. That's not an issue. But if you update strength, and if you pass 10 here, update strength by 10. That's the meaning. Okay, update strength, pass 10. If you use an object to call the method, and that object's strength will be incremented by the value 10. Fine. Self loss strength will have 75 plus 10 is 85. Let me say if value is 10, I'm passing 10, so 75 plus 10 will be 85, and that will be stored in self loss strength. That's how we can update this. And again, this statement is something verbose, and I can reduce like this. You know how to increment in Python. Let's assume and this course assumes you have a basic knowledge in Python. That's how you can update the value. Fine. Okay, so after that I'll have I hope that this will be enough. We have 3 attributes and 4 methods. Again, one thing is something like that, and we are here talking about something called as inheritance, right? So I'm going to introduce inheritance now. Fine, I'm going to introduce inheritance. Say class. Okay, I'll take one more movie of Christopher Nolan called as Inception. Fine. I'll take one more movie, and this class will have everything related to Inception. And let's assume that each character of Inception has all these attributes and has all these methods. Okay, understand my point? I have 2 classes here actually. I have class say Interstellar, and each object in the Interstellar will have IQ, character type, and strength, and versatile, and okay, and I have a lot of methods declared inside Interstellar. Okay, fine. So this will be only applicable. So these methods and attributes will be only applicable to objects which are created, which are instantiated as Interstellar. Again, these methods will be only applicable to objects which are interstellar, which is which are instantiated as Interstellar and will not be applicable to Inception, right? So how do you do that? Okay, so but I want it to be applicable to I want those to be applicable to Inception also, because my characters in Inception, let's assume that they have same attributes and same methods. So what do I do? One possibility is I can just copy everything here and I can paste it here. Fine. By doing this, now if I create an object of Inception, that will have all these methods and all these methods and all these attributes. That's fine. But this is something verbose, right? You're just copying the same code, and this is not acceptable, right? So what you can do is you can just remove this. Fine, you can just remove this, and you have a strange syntax here. Please follow me, okay? So instead of putting a colon here, you put a bracket, and I'll say Interstellar. Say Interstellar, the parent class name, say colon. Fine. What it will do, this is something to be listened and something to be understood here. What it will do, if you put a bracket here, we put braces for only parentheses for only methods, right? But here it is class and we are putting the parentheses. Of course, inside if you pass the class Interstellar, understand, we have a class say Inception, that is some separate class say Inception, and inside in braces if you say Interstellar, if you name it as Interstellar, and the methods and variables which are available in Interstellar are now available to class Inception also. Fine. The statement is here, the methods, all the properties, the methods and the attributes, say attributes nothing but IQ, character type, and I hope it is strength. Okay, so attributes are now available. I'll say character strength. Fine, that would make sense. Okay, character strength. Attributes are now available to class Inception also. Okay, I hope you have seen this movie Inception. If not a problem. And again, I would suggest you to watch this movie. Fine, my favorite movie, right? Inception, and both are my favorite movies, Interstellar and Inception also. Fine. So these methods are, the attributes are now available to class Inception also. Fine. So using an object of the class Inception, you can actually access these methods. I'll tell you how. Okay, and I don't have any special definition there. Let's say pass. Okay, I don't have any definitions inside the class Inception. It just inherits Interstellar. Okay, just inherits Interstellar, and that's why it is called as inheritance. Okay, so Inception is going to inherit Interstellar. Okay, Inception is going to inherit Interstellar. All the methods will be available to Inception. Fine, and I'll say by doing this, I'll call Interstellar as parent class. Fine, and my Inception is child class. You would have guessed, because this actually inherits that, right? This Inception inherits Interstellar again. So this is called as subclass. Okay, is normally called as subclass in any programming language which uses OOP. Okay, so the statement would be Inception inherits Interstellar. Fine. Inherit means, let me assume that the word inherits means the same in biology. Fine, you have biology there, and you can take me as an example. I would just for an example, take me. I would inherit some characteristic of my father. Okay, because that's because of genetic hierarchy, I hope. So I inherit the characteristics of my father. So if I write like this, if I write class my father, okay, my father name here, okay, my father, and I'll write definitions for my father here. I'll write some definitions for my father, like my class father. I have something like, okay, father is an object, my father is an object, let us say, but here it is class. So inside class father, I have some methods and attributes for father. Okay, okay, from methods and attributes, I would inherit some of them, right? I would behave like my father. Let me say class Sujit, that's me. Fine. So that is class my father, and that's me. I'll just put a curly brace. I'll pass my father here. Now I would inherit everything of my father now. Okay, I would inherit everything of my father, say Sujit. Fine. So Sujit is a class. Now Sujit will inherit all the Sujit will inherit all the characteristics of this father, like whatever definition you have, that is applicable to Sujit also now. That's how inheritance works. Fine. and you can also define one more class and you can inherit that. Okay, you have one inheritance here, and this is clearly explained in Java. So Java, we have a lot of I have a course called Java in my Udemy portal. You can actually see that. So I have explained everything in Cortex with the real world concepts. You can actually take that course if you want to learn Java. And that also we have inheritance concept, right? That's how it works. And I can also have one more movie. Let me say Dark Knight is another very good movie of Christopher Nolan. I can inherit from Interstellar itself, fine. And you can also inherit from Inception. That is also possible. I'm not going to talk about that. And the characters in Inception will have one more unique method. Okay, will have one more unique method called they will dream, right? So instead of past, I'll say dreaming is another method of the. If you have seen the movie Inception, the characters will will get into a dream, and the movie will be somewhat confusing. Dream inside dreams. That's what Inception means. So I'll say def, dream. Okay, that's a dream method, and they have a lot of stages of dream. That's it. I'll pass self. Okay, I'll say print. Let me print something. Time being, I'm print something, not returning anything. So print. I'm dreaming. That's it. I'm dreaming. Fine. So now there's something interesting to be understood here. What I'm trying to say is now Inception will have all the methods of Interstellar class. Means we have 4 methods in Interstellar. Inception will have all the methods of Interstellar class. No worry. Introduce, survive, update, strength. Inception will have all the methods. In addition to those methods and attributes, Inception will have one more method called as dream. Okay, because the characters will dream in that movie, so Inception will have one more method called as dream, and this dream will not be applicable to Interstellar. Try to understand, because only our Inception inherits from Interstellar, and Interstellar is not inheriting from Inception. And again, this is not possible. Okay, you cannot put Inception here, because when the moment I say Inception of Interstellar became parent class. Okay, so by automatically it becomes parent class when I inherit like this. So you can't use any method which belongs to Inception. Fine. So now the point here is dream will be applicable only to Inception, not to Interstellar. But the methods in Interstellar will be applicable to Inception. Sounds good. So dream is like an extra method, an additional method which is applicable to Inception. So you can define like this. Fine. Fine. You can define like this. Let me create objects. I'll say Cooper. That's my first object of class, say Interstellar. Fine. And that's how we can create an object of class A. Cooper is my first object, and you have to pass the name, because I'm getting a name here. You have to pass the name. Fine. To pass the name, say Cooper. I'll say Cooper, no worries. Dr. Cooper. Fine. Dr. Cooper. And this is he's again my favorite character. Okay, favorite hero. Fine, that's it. And another one is Murph. Stars is my another favorite character. It's a robot, right? It's a robot. Stars, Interstellar. Again, he belongs to Interstellar. And again, I'll say stars. Fine. Okay, I've created 2 objects of the class Interstellar, but let me create objects of Inception too. So Inception, the protagonist character's name, the Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name is Dom Cobb, if I'm not wrong. He's Cobb, and Cobb actually. So Cobb, Inception. I'll pass the full name here, Dom Cobb. Okay, that's how we can create objects of Inception. Fine. And after that, I have one more character as Arthur, which is who is basically Cobb's partner in doing mischiefs. Okay, fine. So Cobb's partner, I'll say Arthur here also. So I have to pass name, and you may be asking question. You don't have any constructor here. You mean you don't have any init method here? You can actually define your method. It's not a problem. You don't have any method here, and you don't have any methods which gets name, right? You don't have like that, but you are actually passing the name. Will this work? Definitely this will work. Even if you don't have any method, this will actually, since you are inheriting from Interstellar, this will actually use the constructor of Interstellar. I hope I'm clear. You don't have any constructor here, but you are actually passing one name. If you don't have any, it will search for you first in your class only. If you search for you first in your class only, it will search for your constructor. You don't have that constructor here. You don't have any init method here, but whenever you create an object of Inception, it will search for you only in Inception class, but you don't have that, and now it will search for parent class, and in that parent class you have a constructor, and that constructor will be utilized by your Inception class. I hope I'm clear. Fine. So now Inception you actually uses the constructor of Interstellar class, since Inception inherits Interstellar, and I told you, right? That's how you can understand that. Fine. So that's how it works, and let's play with this. Okay, let me use Cooper, and let me introduce Cooper. Okay, so introduce Cooper to you, it's our hero. Okay, so introduce Cooper dot, that's how we can call the method, right? Cooper dot introduce, that's it. Introduce doesn't get any argument, it has only self, and we are passing self. Okay, we are passing self by calling Cooper. We are passing self actually. Cooper self will refer to Cooper. Now Cooper dot introduce will introduce Cooper. Let's check. You can see, hey, I'm Dr. Cooper. Super, because Dr. Cooper is getting passed as self dot name. You can see self dot name, and that is getting printed here, self dot name. Fine, it's superb, right? Let me introduce Cobb to you, which is our hero of another movie, say Inception. That is also my favorite movie. I couldn't leave that. Okay, introduce Cobb, and let me comment Cooper. Cooper dot introduce. You can see, hey, I'm Dome Cobb. Okay, so what is actually strange here, because it's strange because you don't have any introduce method inside Inception, but you are using an object of Inception. Cobb is an hero of Inception movie, right? So you are using an object of Inception to call the method introduce. Okay, so since whenever the moment you call the method introduce, it will search for introduce in your class. Okay, let me say type of Cobb. Okay, type of Cobb. Let me analyze this for a while. Type of Cobb, and it will give you uh, not oh, it's capital C. Sorry. Fine. It says, hey, Cobb is an object of Inception. Okay, so Cobb is an object of Inception. That is clear. So it will know. Okay, Cobb is an object of Inception. So this introduce whenever you use an object of Inception, Cobb is an object of Inception. We have seen that by typing function, by type function. So Cobb is an object of Inception. So if you use an object of Inception to call introduce method, that will actually search for introduce method, like introduce a method named introduce only in Inception class first. So you don't have introduce method here, and that will again that will go to Interstellar now. So go to Interstellar. If you have that method, and that method will be executed. So self.name now refers to Dom Cobb. Okay, fine. That's called Cobb.introduce. That's how you can use. You can also use update strength. Fine. So update strength will also work, and again it shows error because it's self.strength. Let's say self. No, not. It's correct actually. I have changed it as character strength, so I have to change it here also, character strength. I think you can remember that. Okay, fine. Super. It works. Let me teach you about method overriding, and if you have some interesting stuff to talk about, let's discuss that in the next class. Okay, thank you.